listening on 93.3 Real Talk Radio. Thanks for doing so. Be safe out there. Get to where you're going. If you're listening online, watching perhaps on Warchant TV there, the YouTube feed, thanks for doing that. Thanks for being in the Heisen Lincoln Law Firm chat room. That's dedicated to representing clients statewide is Heisen Legal Law Firm. If you've been in an accident, call Heisen Legal Law Firm, 813-803-0733 for a free consultation. No cost to you unless they win. Your interests come first with Heisen Legal Law Firm, name you can trust for justice. 813-803-0733. You can visit the website as well, HeisenLegalLawFirm.com. Heisen Legal Law Firm, your advocate in times of need. Offices, Tampa. So we are the precursor to the big game beginning at 3 o'clock. Obviously, we will lead you up to first pitch, and then we will sit down and watch just as you will, and we will do so nervously. We will also reflect on yesterday's big win here in a second. Happy Juneteenth to you, all of you out there celebrating. Tom, same to you, buddy. Today, for those that don't know, marks the day when Union troops, some later called the Armed Missionaries of a Great Redemption, arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 with the news of freedom for the enslaved people there. 2 years, by the way, 2 years after President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. So we celebrate that. We say a hearty rest in peace to Willie Mays, who passed yesterday after we were off the air. Willie Mays, say hey kid, most agree is the greatest center fielder of all time. Many would tell you that he was the greatest baseball player of all time. And I was, as I have been for many years with baseball, curious, wanted to dive deep and take a look at some of those other numbers that aren't so obvious. And, his career kindles the curiosity. And if you go through, the Mays story, it is pretty amazing. Tom, 24 All-Star games for Willie Mays. Ted Williams once said about the All-Star game, they were invented for Willie Mays. And we won't ever see anybody get close to that, I don't think. Making every All-Star game for 2 decades. It's hard to make them for a decade straight. Barry Bonds never did it. Shohei Ohtani may not do it. Mike Trout did do it. But, obviously he's not going to do it for 2 decades. It's insane to think about. You have to be, for starters, healthy. You have got to be healthy for what seems like forever. It's really quite insane. 660 home runs. Willie Mays was the second player in baseball history to clear the 600 home run threshold. Babe Ruth was the first. And I would contend that Willie Mays would have hit over 700 home runs. Military service for Willie Mays in 1952 after being drafted during the Korean War. He didn't return to Major League Baseball until 1954. And a note here, Mays had instant success in the major leagues when he got called up in 1951 as a rookie. In fact, he won Rookie of the Year, hit 274, 20 home runs, stole 7 bases in 121 games. And that was his first year. And then immediately he gets drafted. He misses 2 full seasons to the war. So he ended his career with 660 home runs. He would have gotten, I think, we can certainly guess, given his relative health for his entire career, he would have surpassed 700 home runs.
Well, certainly if he played in a different ballpark than Candlestick, too. We see how difficult it is to hit in San Francisco, generally speaking. I've driven by where Candlestick Park was. I know you have as well. It's right on the water there. The marine layer effect is still there, ever present. I'm sure he got cheated on a few that way. The thing that's so remarkable to me about Willie Mays, and my dad calls him the best player he ever saw, and he watched him play in Brooklyn before they moved, which is just
it's insane. Crazy to think about. It's my dad's favorite player too, by the way.
He's watched Jackie Robinson play against Willie Mays with his own eyes. All right, Dad, you've been around, you've seen a couple things. Is that he was analytics and spray charts before that existed. Willie Mays would organize where everybody stood for every single batter, and he understood what pitches were going to be delivered, where he should shade. It wasn't just about the 5 tools, and he was excellent at all 5 tools. The tool between his ears was like having an advanced scouting department some 70 years ago. It's unbelievable.
Some suggested although this is debated amongst all people, but you'll hear the phrase used that somebody has a photographic memory. He has been a guy that was described in that way, and in the way that he kept track of every pitch he ever saw from any pitcher. So if he saw that guy a year later, oh, this is the dude that threw the slider on 1-1. Like that kind of, and that would explain that kind of unreal success. 12 Gold Glove Awards, that's the most of any center fielder in history. Los Angeles Dodgers executive Fresco Thompson once said that Mays' glove, we've all heard this phrase, was a place where triples go to die. In addition to all of that, the late, great Buck O'Neil said, there were faster men in baseball, but not with the ball in the air, which is a pretty cool way of describing Willie Mays' inability to track. He died at the age of 93, 2 days before Major League Baseball comes to Birmingham, Alabama, to play a game at Rickwood Field in his honor, which is going to be really neat. I wish he would have made it, but he was aware of it. He was certainly aware of it where he grew up, the old ballpark where he played. So pretty neat to think about that. So we say rest in peace to him. So now we get to the aspect of the nerves that we feel right now, perhaps, and that would be Florida State won yesterday, everybody, in case you're unaware. And, yeah, I'm slightly surprised that they did. They got a Herculean effort from Armstrong that I didn't see coming. Hadn't pitched, 3.5 weeks, and really not a guy you depended on. But he did showcase something yesterday that is a friendly reminder to all that if you locate your pitches, you don't have to throw 95. You can throw 86, 84, 82, 80. He did in the innings that he tracked, and it frustrated North Carolina. Other than the back-to-back doubles, he really looked to be in complete control, and they were able to navigate it and give a lot of credit to Holtz, who bounced back and went out there and really had his strongest outing, and it was something to behold. They needed it, and they got it, and we give them all the credit in the world. Still, as of right now, maybe something's changed, Tom, since we jumped on. I have not seen just yet, but I asked. In fact, let me check my phone here while we're on the air. I think, guys, that it's going to be Abraham. I think that's who it's going to be today to start the game. We're in another delicate situation where they've got to figure out the order they want to do this and who's available today and who's not. And obviously, you're facing an elite lineup, but I believe they're going to begin. This is an educated guess. Trust me on this. I believe they're going to go with Abraham. So we'll see. He hasn't pitched yet, has he? That I'm aware of. I haven't seen him pitch in this meaning at the College World Series.
No, they've warmed him up a couple of times, but they haven't brought him in as yet. And yeah, on the marquee today, sometimes they tip their hand on social media when they put up a game day graphic. It's Marco Dinges on the graphic, not a pitcher. So Florida State does want to wait until that last possible second. It's about more than who opens the game for you. You know, in today's circumstance, you wonder if there's a big name that comes out of the pen for some period of time. And that big name is Jamie Arnold. In Major League Baseball terms, he's on schedule. He's on normal rest today from a Friday to a Wednesday. But of course, this is not major leagues. And you know what? MLB is now shuffling in a 6-man rotation more often. That's becoming in vogue. So do you allow Jamie to throw a quote-unquote side session bullpen today for 25 to 30 pitches that just happens to be on the mound on that field in Omaha? And this is his side session before he would be available if you were able to climb to the summit of the mountain and do this thing and get into that best of 3. That remains to be seen. But I think it's wise to not start Jamie Arnold in this situation and see how the game unfolds, given that you couldn't expect a full 100 pitches out of Jamie. That would be totally unreasonable in the way that college pitchers are handled. So the shuffling of the arms, who's available? I mean, Link said it yesterday again after the win, the 9-5 win. Don't ask me. I got no idea. You know it's not going to be Holtz. You know it's not going to be Armstrong. Doubt it's going to be Whitaker. He didn't have much yesterday. I would think if he's going to pitch, it would be tomorrow, Connor Whitaker, that is. So process of elimination. I don't think Dorsey would be available today. So it's Abraham, blank, and then hopefully Arnold. And don't let us get to tomorrow. Let me get that in there. Don't let us wake up tomorrow and still be playing baseball.
I'll tell you what, man. I think the climb is really a difficult one. The terrain is rocky and steep, but it's not impossible. So, I didn't think I thought it would be tough sledding yesterday, just because I didn't think you'd get that kind of a performance from Armstrong, and I'm glad that he proved me wrong. He was effective, very, very effective. And then, of course, the bats have been along for the ride in every game, and you're going to need that again today, because this is a Tennessee team that if you don't have your best arms out there, as we well know, hell, with your best arms out there, they hit. They're a lot like us. These are the two best offenses out in Omaha, and so you're going to need another guy to give you something above and beyond what we're expecting. The one thing that we have been very consistent with and has shown up big the entirety of the postseason has been the sticks, and it's been 1 through 9, and they've all hit. I mean, think about this offense right now with the gaudy numbers that lead the way out in Omaha, and your best two hitters have hardly hit. I mean, you really haven't had those guys doing a lot of damage, and I'm talking about Tibbs and Cam. They're not hitting the baseball anywhere close to the level they were hitting the baseball for the vast majority of this season. And, not out in Omaha anyhow. And so, that just tells you how wrought with danger it must feel for opposing pitchers to look at this lineup and say, really? All right, they're not even hitting their stride with their two best hitters. Everybody else is doing major damage. It's not like I can pitch around these guys right now. In fact, I got to pitch to them because they're the guys I can get out. It's crazy. If they start hitting, yeah, man, who knows? Who knows if you get those two guys going 3 for 5, home run and a double or something like that, you start mixing that in to go with what everybody else is doing. Sweet Jesus, Florida State already prolific will probably tick up into the 12 to 13 run a game number. It's been crazy to watch.
Yeah, and Cam was more consistent earlier on in this postseason than Tibbs was, but Tibbs was the guy who helped punch the ticket, who did, put the final stamp on the paper to punch the ticket for Florida State to get to Omaha. And I think obviously to get to a best of 3 series, you'd have to have some symmetry there or a parallel storyline where it's Cam Smith and it's James Tibbs that help push you through. I don't foresee you winning 2 games against Tennessee with them going 2 for 10 with a couple of walks and no home runs. Like it's gonna have to come at some point. But the other part of the equation is I don't think we're scared of Tennessee pitching anywhere in that lineup. It's not as though you clear the 3rd or the 4th spot in the order if you're a Florida State fan and say it's hopeless. You don't feel that way at all. Rallies have started from everywhere in this lineup. It's just you need the big boppers to be the big boppers.
It's funny you bring that up because I think the tendency, we bring this up, the psychology of people in sport in general, we tend to hyper-focus on the things we don't do well, and we compare and contrast what we don't do well to what others do well. And so it's you can get into that rut, and I often do when I'm thinking about a matchup that I desperately want to win, where all I see is Tennessee's offense. I see those bats. I see those players. I see those numbers. They jump off the page. If you're a Tennessee fan, certainly you're looking at Florida State, and by rights you should have lost the game to them the first time you faced them, and you saw the damage that they've done not only to your pitching staff, but to every other pitching staff. You're a Tennessee fan, you're looking at Florida State's offense today going, really? I would have liked for them to have gotten knocked off yesterday. If you're a Tennessee fan, you're saying, I'd much rather have played North Carolina. They didn't offer this much of a challenge. Florida State's going to be a problem. And so you're right, Tom. It's important to bring that up. Their pitching hasn't been dominant and not overwhelming in any way. And we've faced better pitching and clubbed it. So you're right. There's the other side of that too. You could go into this game going, maybe we don't, throw up a bunch of empty innings. Maybe we don't have, 2 and 3 and 4 innings at a time in which we don't give up runs. Maybe we are giving up 4 and 5 runs before the 5th inning, but there's nothing that says so far that we won't also match that number, if not surpass it, offensively ourselves. This could very well be a 7-5 type ball game in the 5th inning today. I absolutely could see that scenario.
Yeah, I just like how we keep pushing and keep pushing. We know what the drill is. The lineup knows the task at hand here. Is 6 runs through the first 6 innings isn't enough. You scored 11 last week and it wasn't enough. You need to keep going. So you can't take it easy at any point mentally. You cannot rest at any point. And I thought that was one of the key scenarios yesterday, was getting the back-to-back home runs to push us into a situation where we're up 9-5 with 3 outs to go. That changes the dynamic completely of how Holtz goes out there to earn the game, finish the game for us. If it's a 2-run ball game at that point, first sign of trouble, you wonder about here we go again energy, but the bats understood. You turned over the lineup, Jackson West, and then Max Williams, as Link Jarrett said, hits it into a 30-mile-an-hour wind. I didn't know that it was possible, but he did barely get it over that fence in that unbelievable wind. That's the assignment here, is to keep pushing. There is no stop, he's already dead. No, he's not. Keep killing him. Keep killing him.
It's funny you bring it up. I feel like when they hit those 2 home runs yesterday, I thought it was absolutely huge. I do admire the cojones on Max Williams to stand there and admire a home run that got out by an inch. my man is just pimping a ball that wasn't ticketed for the street. I mean, this ball really looked like a ball that might hit the top of the wall with him standing at home plate, because it's a line shot, but he knows that ballpark. Kudos, I will say, they have figured this out. Omaha, the Schwab, it's played like a very fair and true baseball stadium. It rewards honest to goodness power. You put a good swing on a ball, you get it out of there. I mean, hell, you got a home run, just his 3rd yesterday from Jackson West. So you can, if you put a good swing on the ball, you can get it out of there. But no cheapies. You're not getting any of this into the bat, happen to fly, hit a jet stream, leave the yard, nonsense glorified pop-ups that are, we're watching guys drift and drift and drift like we did in the regionals. And none of that. You got to earn this. You got to hit the ball hard somewhere if you're going to make the play. And then if you're going to get the hit. And the other part of that is that it makes you, it exposes you a little bit, unfortunately for us, in certain situations in the outfield, just because there's so much ground to cover. But Florida State hits the ball, they hit a lot of line drives, and they make a ton of contact, and they give themselves opportunity after opportunity after opportunity because they have good at-bats. And they're going to need to have great at-bats today, and I'm with you. Florida State could have 10 runs it could be 10-0 in the 5th, and nobody's going to say this is over. You're not going to, because you have very limited arms. You've got very tired arms of the people that you're going to bring out there as this game goes on, and you're just not sure you can get the requisite outs. Now, you won't have to remind them of it, because the team that came back from 3 in the 9th is who you're facing. The jersey who did the damage is across from you. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722. Parker Services. Comfort System, call away.
Invest in a Peak Performance membership and you'll buy peace of mind in knowing that you're extending the life of your system and probably saving money on your power bill too. The program includes comprehensive tune-ups that keep your system running at its maximum efficiency. And Peak Performance members get many benefits, including priority service. Members jump to the front of the line when their comfort system fails. And a 15% discount on all parts. The Peak Performance membership pays for itself over and over again. Call today and have peace of mind. And now offering electrical services too.
Parker Services. Comfort System, call away.
License CMC 050324 and EC 130-12140.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
Feeling hungry but don't want to leave the house? Download the Foodies Takeout and Delivery app and earn points and rewards on every order while supporting local at the same time. Other food deliveries like DoorDash and Uber Eats are taking upwards of 20 to 30% directly out of our local restaurants' pockets, while Foodies does not. Keep money local and support your favorite local restaurants such as El Jalisco, Gordo's, Jerry's, Smitty's Tap House, and many more. Download the free app today and start earning your rewards instantly. Just search for Foodies Takeout and Delivery in any app store or order online at foodiestakeout.com.
This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. Sellers, are you stuck between wanting to sell your home and waiting for rates to fall? Are you worried about the contingency of having to sell your home? What if you didn't have to? With a 2-1 rate buy down, you can lock in a lower interest rate for the first 2 years of your mortgage and get the home you want now, all while having a higher chance to buy that next home with the contingency of selling yours. If you wait for rates to fall, you risk more competition, sellers less likely to wait, and paying more for that next property. If you're stuck, we need to talk. Give me a call at 954-369-6171. Again, this is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. That's 954-369-6171. And don't forget, for every loan we close for our fellow Noles, I will personally donate $250 to the Battle's End.
Equal housing rental. NMLS number 373031.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50. For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Something really fascinating again, and it bears repeating. I've brought it up a lot because I want us to be mindful of it as we watch these games. I know what happens. You know, these games elicit an emotion. Every pitch, you hang on every pitch. Baseball's great for drama because of the very nature of the game, the pace of the game. There's a lot of buildup, and Tom and I have talked about that quite a bit. It's one of the things I love about the game. It's one of the things I love about regular season baseball as opposed to postseason baseball, all these things. But yeah, with every pitch, you've got time to think about a lot of results. And we're always projecting these results of what we want compared to what has to happen and the situation. And what can get lost in all of this is a reminder that Florida State is one of 4 teams that remain in college baseball right now. They have made it to the Final Four. Florida State has. And that, you know, is remarkable. I mean, think about the mental fortitude and toughness it takes to have endured the entire season that group did a year ago. Many of the kids, obviously, on this team went through that, where the day-to-day existence had to have sucked for fierce competitors to be on the wrong end of a lot of results. Many stretches in which it didn't look like you were ever going to win another game. I mean, just loss after loss after loss, some of them just non-competitive. And to then fast forward to where this team is this year and having the season that they've had and that they're having is remarkable. And then you can do it in the real time, in the now, to have lost the game that they did to Tennessee in the manner in which they lost that game. The most amount of heartbreak that could be inflicted was because you had it on the one hand, 2 different times during that game, you're in total control. Then you have on the other hand, the collapse, also a missed third strike. So you feel like in addition to losing the lead and not making enough winning plays, you also kind of got screwed. So you had all the elements that add up to immense frustration. And it's the kind of thing that carries over. Yeah, human nature is human nature. Coaches will tell players and players will tell themselves time and again that, hey, I got to play the next play. Tomorrow's another day, whatever cliche you want to use. But we're all obviously emotional creatures. Things happen and they affect our moods. And when something disastrous happens and you think about you're already up against it with your pitching staff and now you're in the loser's bracket because of this disaster, it's easy to go out there and kind of go through the motions and lie to yourself and tell yourself that you're locked in and focused and playing as hard as you possibly can and playing with an intense passion when you're really not. You're really not, because you haven't gotten past something just yet. But they haven't done that. They haven't done that in the slightest. They have played from the jump after that a very high level and brand of baseball. They got better defensively after game one. They've been better really in every facet. The at-bats have been strong, have been smart. They've done a lot of things very, very well and executed their way to winning these games. So, I maybe they win today. Would not be shocked if they did. I said that yesterday. I said I'd be surprised if they were able to come out of the loser's bracket and get to the championship round. Yes, I will stand by that. That would be a surprise given their pitching or lack of depth in the pitching staff. But I would not be shocked in an individual game when they win it. And that remains true too, both of yesterday's game and maybe even today. I won't be shocked if they win today's game because the offense, it's traveled. The toughness, physically and mentally, it's been there. And they've been unwavering. And this gets to why I said before they got to Omaha and before the postseason started that I think it's inevitable that a Link Jarrett-led Florida State baseball program is going to win the national championship at some point. If not this year, down the road, they will win a national championship under Link Jarrett, because I believe that attention to detail, that intensity of focus, that ability to get players to lock in, buy in, listen, improve, play the next play, do all of the things necessary to prepare yourself for success is something that will carry over. They're just getting started is really what I'm saying. They're just getting started. He's in year 2, and this is a team that is one of only 4 that remain in the College World Series, or they've reached the Final Four of the College World Series. That's nuts to think about. I know you're aware of this. This isn't to condescend. I know you're aware of this, but let's remind each other of how insane it is that this team, this program, off the rails bad a year ago, is now one of 4 teams that remain in the College World Series. It's just unreal, the accomplishment. And it's not done. They may win the whole damn thing. We'll see. We'll see. Again, I think it's a tough climb. I'd be surprised, but I certainly wouldn't be shocked. And it won't be because they're lackadaisical or won't be because they're unfocused or what. No, they'll have the game plan in play. They'll be locked in. Somebody's going to have to knock them out of this thing, and they're going to have to beat them. It won't be because of dumbassery.
And I doubt it will be because of shutdown starting pitching either. It's hard to envision if we saw what the best Tennessee had to offer. I mean, I think it was about their 4th or 5th kid that they went through that looked pretty good relative to the other ones, like that they started, and Stamos and the other kid who comes in and did the squats before every pitch. We're not afraid of any of those guys. You're not going to hold back if you're Tennessee in that situation and on a Friday to start in Omaha and say, well, we're going to save our best arm for Sunday. So we saw the best that they have. That doesn't scare you. The confidence of this group now at this point versus where they were on Saturday after they lost the way that they did, it's all the way back. I mean, they have to have a team of destiny feel. A lot of teams have that feeling in their locker room or their clubhouse that they're the team of destiny and they go home and they don't win the whole thing. Everybody feels like they're destined to do something. Every fan base does. But, also on Sunday, this time around in Omaha, I think this group, Florida State, was unsure of itself, and they found a way to play some very good baseball. Carson Dorsey allowed them to have time in the scope of the 27 ounce to gain their confidence back, and so they did. And then they play in this game against North Carolina, and they take it to the Tar Heels. I think you're absolutely right. It would be crazy to me if this offense produces 3 runs or fewer today. I can't envision anything that low. Even 5 in some ways feels very low for how this offense plays. But a bunch of double plays or something along those lines can hinder you. this group is extremely confident. And you just need to find a way to engineer some outs. And you're also going to have to get lucky. That's what happens this time of year. There are several situations in every College World Series run. There's 2 on, 1 out. You get a double play. A line drive right at the second baseman. He steps on the bag, end of the inning. Oh, wow. Can you believe how they got out of that? You're going to need probably 2 of those innings today where the play-by-play voice, as he sends it to Brick, says, how did they get out of that one? That's what you need. But if you get there and you do that, and you let us play tomorrow on a Thursday, oh, buddy, Tennessee will be the one sweating bullets the entire game. We won't be sweating at all.
Well, that is exactly right. Again, I feel like you're playing with house money here. And I've said that before, that you don't have anything to lose. This is above and beyond any expectation that any fan, or really reasonable, fair-minded fan anyhow, could have had before this season. Not on the heels of what you just saw a year ago. It'd be tough to, with a straight face, say, I really suspect they're going to win the national championship. They're real close to winning the national championship. We'll mention that I did think they'd be good. After all, the bet on Florida State to get to the College World Series was made. That's how much I believe in Link, though. That's less about me being omniscient and great at wagering, although sometimes that's true too. This was much more about what I've heard from, what I've learned from, and what I've listened to with Link Jarrett. That dude he's got it all right now, and it's exciting to watch. Jeff Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
Fire station number 17 could be coming to Tallahassee's South Side in 2026. The project has been years in the making. Findings show the South Side has more calls for service and slower response times than other parts of town. Commissioners will discuss the new fire station tonight. According to the meeting agenda, the fire station is already approved and budgeted. Commissioners are expected to vote on authorizing a loan of up to $27 million to secure funding for the project. President Joe Biden approved a disaster declaration for Big Bend counties Tuesday following tornadoes that swept through the local areas last month. The president ordered federal aid to assist in state, tribal, and local recovery efforts in Florida areas affected by the recent tornadoes, storms, and straight-line winds that occurred on May 10th. The funding is available on a cost-sharing basis for debris emergency work and the repair of replacement of facilities. Leon County, though, is the only local county eligible for individual assistance. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon, with daytime highs approaching 93. Easterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. 73 tonight, mainly clear skies. Slight chance for storms tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 92. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently 84.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
There was Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude,
no.
I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean, you know.
No, I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Chef.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Guess we should maybe mention, you've probably already seen it by now. I don't know if we want to get, it seemed like a whole lot of nothing for us to get into here, Tom, about the Judge Cooper's here. He's denied counts 2 and 3 of the Atlantic Coast Conference's motion to dismiss a lawsuit brought by Florida State. I think we thought that was going to happen, right?
Yeah, 3 for 3 there that he denied. I did watch, oh God, more than I wanted to, about 3-4 hours of the stream yesterday.
I'm going to defer to you because I'm going to tell the world something here. I didn't watch 30 seconds of it. You watched 3 to 4 hours of it. So please, anything that you want to lend to the conversation, I'm all ears, because I didn't think much would happen that didn't happen, right?
Well, I didn't have to at least sit in a hard church pew bench for 9 hours like Aslan did and be stenographer. But what I took out of it was, you could tell. I mean, like, basically, what Judge Cooper did in late April was say to Florida State, "This is no good. You got to explain yourself a little bit more. You got to amend this complaint. Go back home and fix up your work, and then we can proceed." Like, that's how I took it. It's not like he's trying to help Florida State's lawyers, but I think he wanted to make sure that Florida State's lawyers presented a case that he could move through the ranks. And yesterday was about arguing to dismiss the lawsuit, which I don't think was ever going to happen. And Judge Cooper, interesting guy. The ruling took about an hour. We'll go with thorough. We'll go with that.
Yeah, very, very thorough. We know that. We've had those conversations with Tom Quitz.
Yeah, exactly. Very thorough. He didn't want to do a written ruling because those take longer to turn around. He wanted to do a verbal ruling. So that's what he did yesterday. And the first motion that came down around 3:30, which was, again, during the middle of a rally for Florida State, was a dismissal of the motion for a denial of the motion to dismiss for personal jurisdiction, which is to say, yeah, Florida can still do this thing. Motions 2 and 3 were denied, and then there are more motions apparently from the ACC, but those are going to be handled via electronic means. So they called it a day. Florida State went 3 for 3 in getting the denials that they were hoping to get. This thing's going to proceed in the state of Florida. So long story short, it's on track. It took longer than it was supposed to. We shouldn't have had this nearly 2-month delay, but it's back on track, I would imagine.
So this was what I brought up the last time we had this conversation. It's what we've brought up a lot, that initially everybody gets fired up. We're all pumped up. The very nature of this clash interests us. We have a lot on the line, so we're all going to be locked in, but you're in a race to do nothing. It's like running to the red light and then just, okay. You got a lot of these things that take forever, and the system's slow. It just is. And you're going to get these days where you think something of significance is happening, but as it pertains to Florida State's ability to leave the ACC and how close are we to that end, we're a long ways off. We're a long ways off, I think, is the way of saying it. I mean, and I don't mean like, oh, what happened yesterday tells me that it's going to be 4 years. I'm not suggesting that. Just that the process moves very slowly, and you're not going to have a haymaker of sorts where you go, there it is. That's it. Right. You know, we're not DiCaprio jumping off the couch meme here. It's just, okay, we knew this was going to be what happened. This is the next baby step. There'll be another baby step in return. Then there's another one and another one. And next thing you know, we're in the middle of next football season and nothing's come close to being resolved. The big news will be the moment that they decide to head to mediation.
Yeah, it's not going to be settled in a courtroom setting like this. You're not going to have your day where they walk out in the front court steps and say, "We did it." It's just, if it gets to that point, I'll be in my 40s, you'll be in your 60s, and we'll be dead poor, broke at Florida State, and so it won't make a difference. So it's going to be about the settlement. But I did find the interesting thing, legally speaking, the argument yesterday that Judge John Cooper took most to heart was about the fact that business was conducted in the state of Florida. Like, that was the key argument that Florida State would make for him to say, all right, I've got something that I can run with here for the ruling. It's that, hey, man, these games are broadcast out of the state of Florida. Florida State built a studio to execute the broadcasts of these games. These are by and large home games that Florida State has that are valuable to the ACC. So you may believe that North Carolina is a proper forum, but your representatives came to the state of Florida to secure the business from the state of Florida. You don't have to have an office down here, ACC, in order for you to be conducting business in the state of Florida. And so in that spirit, since business is being conducted in Tallahassee, and he kept throwing Miami in there too, to try and make it not an FSU specific thing. Since you're conducting business in this state very much is an appropriate forum to hear this lawsuit. And that's why he went the way that he did.
By the way, I want to point to something here. I was on a show called Big Sports Radio. If you type in Big Sports Radio June 14th preview, Jeff Cameron or something like that, I wanted to look that up. I was trying to find it, where I talked to two gentlemen that cover the Big Ten exclusively, and they are very good at what they do. It was an enjoyable conversation that I had with those two gentlemen. And for anybody that wants to hear, a much more involved opinion about what I think is going to happen, a much more kind of back and forth between me and some guys that cover the Big Ten, you can find that on YouTube. Maybe I'll, during the break, Tom, I'll find it and send it over to you or whatever. You can post it up there. But the reason I bring it up is they asked a ton of questions about where I think Florida State ends up and what they think and the people that they talk to in the Big Ten, et cetera. And it was fascinating. I will tell you, I'll boil it down to this. Neither of them thought Clemson would ever end up in the Big Ten. That's fascinating, as we talked about that. They're like, no, it's highly unlikely that Clemson would ever be invited to the Big Ten.
Well, this is the whole thing, and we've talked about this. The rumors about the B1G are hot and heavy, and it would make so much sense for them to complete the square, so to speak, in terms of their coverage map. They would have a new footprint that they did not have before. It unifies their brand that they already have with a new footprint, and the West Coast. They control all time zones. They control all demographics. It's a win for the B1G. So it would make a ton of sense for them to want us. It just comes down to if and when mediation is done and the settlement is there, Florida State's going to have a decision to make. I don't think it's just going to be that the SEC and ESPN don't pick up the phone at that point, don't reach out and extend their arm. This is going to be like 32 years ago or 33 years ago all over again, where at the 11th hour, Florida State had a chance to go to the SEC instead of the ACC. I think they're going to have that choice again. It may not exist in the present moment in terms of backroom, agreements, but the SEC is going to give Florida State a chance to say no to it. It's just we got to get to that place where the ACC is willing to say, all right, no mas, no mas.
Yeah, I think the better phrase. Yeah, I think the better way of phrasing that is that ESPN will invite Florida State to join the SEC, just as Fox has allegedly invited Florida State to join the Big Ten. That's really what we're getting at. The only other aspect of this that I think would be fascinating, infinitely fascinating, love to be a fly on the wall to watch the negotiation, because I do think there'll be a form of a negotiation between the two entities, between ESPN and Fox, about who gets what and why. And I it's almost like, you got the rich and powerful in a back room, CEOs of big business, and they're saying, okay, look, we all stand to make a lot of money here. We're all going to do very, very well. But I think that we strongly desire this asset, and this asset. How do we make this work? Well, we too are fond of those assets. Now, perhaps we would part with asset one if you agree that we are able to do whatever for the college football playoff. Like all of these different bargaining chips that go to the middle of the table, probably happening in a way that really does not see any one person for Florida State making a decision of this magnitude. It's a network.
Yeah. Well, these power players see each other at the same country clubs. They see each other at the same poker table. They see wherever, at Churchill Downs every year. For example, look at golf. This may not end up getting pushed through, but Jay Monahan, who's on the desk of CBS and says, did you ever have to apologize for playing on the PGA Tour, went and played golf with the Saudis behind everybody's back to cut a deal with the Saudis, the people he was demonizing, in order to ensure a merger and the success of his PGA Tour. These people at this level are all friends. They just pick up the phone. They work together for the NFL. They work together for any number of other sports. So why wouldn't they do so for college football? I would agree with you. Conversations will be had.
I think they're probably already having those conversations. I think they have to be very careful. Nobody wants to get sued. We understand that. And I don't believe there's been a formal offer. I agree with you. I don't think like
there can't
Fox
be.
or ESPN. No, there can't be, right? They're going to be very, very careful. But it's understood to use the analogy. They're on the golf course, waiting on the golf cart girl to come around, and they're ordering a drink. And, Bob says to Larry, so which would you rather have? Florida State or Clemson? Because, we're getting one of those assets. They cheers, and then they order a drink, and then somebody says, well, I know how long you guys have been itching to have this, this, and this. Maybe we can work something up. Maybe you're up. Your box.
There's one talking point that's circulating again that's tired, and that's, well, what would Florida have to say about that? Can we please stop with that?
Florida doesn't have a say at all.
No.
The University of Florida. The irony here, again, I'll say this for everybody, and this, yes, you're right. It gets so old to listen to this.
Texas example, for crying out loud, A&M was outvoted and outgunned when they were promised Texas would never come to the SEC.
Yes, of course, we're well past some antiquated handshake deal that was made at a table 35 years ago. I mean, this is not, we're not doing that. We're not playing that game. The athletic directors the irony here again is that the more power that the schools in the Big Two gain because of their financial windfalls means the less say, or you could use the word power, the athletic directors at those institutions have. They don't have a say. As the school makes more money, as they become a greater, higher profile entity in the world of college football than they already were, every time that moves up the ladder, the sway, the authority, the decision-making is diminished. It's taken from the hands of those in a powerful position at the university. It's out of their hands. So that's a long-winded way of me saying I don't care if Florida's jumping up and down, protesting and yelling at the top of their lungs that you can't have Florida State here. You already have us. Shut up. You don't matter. You don't have a say. Silence. You sound like a petulant child. You don't have a say. Zero say.
It's not like you've been winning a ton of games with them not in the conference. So what's the difference? You're not, if you're worried about a competitive advantage in football specifically, you've had that advantage. And, look at that schedule that's upcoming. It's going to be another grab ankles kind of year. So what difference does it make to you?
Yeah, can you imagine that conversation? But we don't want Florida State here. That's duly noted. No, but I don't think you're hearing me. Oh, we hear you loud and clear. You've got things to worry about. Try to win some football games.
It's like those people who do those videos, the SEC videos. They're characters, they're wearing the shirts.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, A&M's over here bloodletting, and they're like, "Well, that's what they said to us about the Longhorns." So I don't want to hear it as they're pouring their blood into a vial before they do some sort of rebel yell.
They've got to be irate. I mean but A&M really, not a long-standing member to say the least, had no pushback. There was nothing they could do. But you said is what they could do. But you said. And yes.
Florida who says you said a lot? Jim Phillips. That's who says, but you said. Do you want to be Jim Phillips?
Yeah, if it wasn't abundantly clear that we don't tell the truth around here, as a commissioner of the SEC, numerous times outwardly told the world that they weren't going to continue to expand and or go into other conferences and ask for those members. Then like a week later, did it. But yes. Oh, the alliance, got it. Sure thing. Yes. We here at the Big Ten, we understand. We won't continue to try to elevate our status and grab new members, gain more power. accrue assets that lead to a larger television deal in the future. We won't do it because it's not good for the game of football. We are with you. We're against this SEC, this behemoth that's trying to ruin the game, that's already destroyed the Big 12. We won't do it. Next day, Washington and Oregon, come on down. Got to keep up with the Joneses, everybody. Hey, Jim, I know what I said yesterday, but I was lying. I was lying, Jim, and I want you to know before the press finds out that Oregon has said yes. So too has Washington. We'll be announcing them early next week. Silence on the other end, Jim. But I just, Jim, when are you going to wake up? Nobody's told you the truth yet. They've lied to you. You're weak, and they've gone and done the opposite. Next time somebody tells you something that you think is in the ACC's best interest, it's probably not true. Bend over.
Jim,
They're about to do the antithesis.
I'm the only friend you got right now. You don't like the way I'm talking to you, but I'm the only friend you got because I'm spitting the truth. I'm telling you what nobody else will because they just want to use you, Jim. By the way, congratulations on another swimming and diving national championship for your conference. I know that means a lot to you.
And by the way, also, don't think I didn't notice the other day. It was on a flight when I was getting a handshake from USC and UCLA to join the conference that lacrosse continues to perform. You've done an excellent job in your time there to watch lacrosse rise through the ranks. It's glorious. Hour number 2, forthcoming. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Florida State baseball just an hour away. We'll get you there. We'll all exhale and we'll hold on.
Attention, Florida. Are you a victim of an auto accident? We introduce our live chat sponsor, Hyson Leaka Law Firm, dedicated to representing injured clients statewide. If you've been in an accident, call Hyson Leaka Law Firm at 813-803-0733 for a free consultation. Remember, there's no cost to you unless they win. Your interests come first with Hyson Leaka Law Firm, the name you can trust for justice. Call 813-803-0733 now or visit HysonLeakaLawFirm.com. Hyson Leaka Law Firm, your advocate in times of need.
Interior problem, Paul's technicians are there, usually the same day you call, and there is no extra charge. With ProShield, you'll never pay extra for providing the service we promised. Pest prevention for your home, and we'll be there as many times as needed to honor our commitment with no extra charge. Paul's Termite and Pest Control is a local company that proudly served the Tallahassee area for over 50 years.
For the elimination of termites and any other pests,
call Paul's. We'll get them all.
And we make lawns greener, too.
Hey, let me tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
Honey, I'm home.
We're in here, honey.
So why are all my friends here?
Have a seat, Dave. We need to talk about your problem.
Problem? I don't have a problem.
Dave, you do have a problem. A problem with your grill. Here's some pamphlets from Hearth and Patio. They are waiting for your call to help you upgrade your grill.
If you or someone you know needs a grilling intervention, call Hearth and Patio today at 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282 or hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take-home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat-screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Greta, Tallahassee.
The latest betting odds and live movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Florida State eliminates North Carolina, the College World Series 9-5 as a $1.25 favorite. The Seminoles will take on Tennessee today as a $1.50 dog. The Vols -195. Florida State needs 2 wins against the Volunteers and move on to the best-of-3 championship series. Florida Gators today +105 against Kentucky -135. It's elimination game for the Gators and the Wildcats. The winner will get Texas A&M needing to beat the Aggies twice to advance. Braves another 30 home favorite today against the Detroit Tigers, 7.5 flat at Truist Park. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. Progressive.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Free. Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/Milo's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Progressive presents good news, bad news, dumb news, and great news. Good news. A letter in your mailbox says you could save money bundling your home and auto insurance with Progressive. Bad news. You saw it after your teenager backed the car into the mailbox. Dumb news. A new mailbox, basically a box on a stick, costs up to $400. Great news. You decide to see if you could save money bundling at Progressive.com and go with paperless mail instead. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Surprising flavors, cultural authenticity, and unique adventures are some of the main ingredients that go into every single plate served at Café de Martín, Tallahassee's best Peruvian dining experience. Led by classically trained Chef Martín, passion for culture, passion for flavor, and a passion for people can be felt from the moment you step inside. Café de Martín also offers an unparalleled outdoor dining experience in the garden. Surrounded by vibrant flowers and plants and nestled carefully curated decor, the shaded and breezy outdoor garden features elegant live music regularly, and the romantic evening lighting makes Café de Martín the best place to share conversation and connect with the ones you love. Every dish is made from scratch, and every drink is handmade by trained bartenders, offering the very best margaritas and old fashions in the city. Take a trip to a Peruvian paradise right here in the capital city. Visit Café de Martín and El Bar on Capitol Circle Northeast in the Esposito Shopping Center. Open daily for lunch, happy hour, and dinner. Find the full menu online at cafedemartin.com. Feeling hungry but don't want to leave the house? Download the Foodies Takeout and Delivery app and earn points and rewards on every order while supporting local at the same time. Other food deliveries like DoorDash and Uber Eats are taking upwards of 20 to 30% directly out of our local restaurants' pockets, while Foodies does not. Keep money local and support your favorite local restaurants such as El Jalisco, Gordo's, Jerry's, Smitty's Tap House, and many more. Download the free app today and start earning your rewards instantly. Just search for Foodies Takeout and Delivery in any app store or order online at foodiestakeout.com.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50. For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On Twitter, it is at Jay Cameron Show. Thanks for watching. If you're watching on Warchant TV on the YouTube there, appreciate you guys being there, joining us today. And we're an hour away. We're an hour away as I don't have a bad feeling, Tom. I said that yesterday. I didn't have a bad feeling. I continue not to have a bad feeling. I know what the how the odds are stacked against us, but just love this offense. You know, yesterday, Jackson West talking about the at-bats that they've had starting in the regionals, and he was noting that the point of emphasis at one point late in the year was to start having more thorough professional at-bats. And, man, they seem to take to everything they're told, everything they're told to do. This has been a great offense from day one. They won 19 straight games to start the year. They clubbed the vast majority of the teams they faced. But the one criticism, or at least observation, and certainly you and I have talked about it, is they didn't have their undivided attention in every game on offense, right? Those midweek games, occasionally you'd see sort of quick at-bats, guys going for the glory early, not really always working opposing pitching. But in the bigger games, in the series, they did a good job of that. They seem to flip the switch. They've done that throughout. They don't not take a good rip at a fastball middle if they get it early, but they really are locked in on their zones, their hot and cold zones, and they're really good at working at bats right now and forcing guys to come into the zone. Not a lot of college pitchers can get a lot of outs if they have to throw and get you out on strikes. A lot of pitching is about getting you out on balls and getting you to chase areas where you don't have a history of success or you can't do a lot with the baseball. Florida State's done a very good job of waiting until they get the pitch or the mistake. And I've been so impressed with how many hard-hit balls. Even yesterday they had several hard-hit balls that didn't amount to much, but they were hitting well over 300 with runners in scoring position. They just had so many people in scoring position that it looked bad, like they had left a gazillion guys. They just constantly had guys in scoring position. But if you're hitting over 300 with people in scoring position, that's all you can do.
Yeah, you're right about that. A lot of singles early in the game. That's where the big rally was coming from, was a lot of base hits. North Carolina played excellent infield defense. I mean, they did a lot of plays made up the middle of the infield in order for them to get out of innings or to shave an out off of the ledger, and that allowed them to escape some jams, or else Florida State would probably have crossed over a dozen runs in the game. Virginia, too. Virginia played, especially that shortstop. That kid's ridiculous. That kid can pick anything.
Yes,
so,
again.
Florida State's they're not getting cheated, but it's not quite representative. I think that the run totals are not quite representative of what could be done. You're never going to bat 1,000, but man, they are locked in top to bottom in the order, save for the two power bats. And I know that they're pitching around James Tibbs specifically, and they're pitching around Cam a little bit, but Cam had a couple of chances yesterday to come up in big situations with a big hit, and it didn't happen. And that's not like him because he did it earlier in the postseason. Tibbs, the outlier, kind of is that clincher in the super regional. They've been very careful, opposing staffs, to pitch around him. This is a tough lineup to do that with today. I know that that's a frustrating thing that you have expressed over the course of this tournament, is that Florida State will attack those players in certain situations that you don't like. But James Tibbs is not being given a chance to beat the opponent.
Yeah, it's a wise idea, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, go back and ask Connecticut what they think about challenging Mr. Tibbs. Probably a wise idea would to let somebody else beat you. Let's somebody who hasn't proven time and again. Like, I don't know. I mentioned before we got off the air yesterday, let's go ahead and not let Honeycutt beat us. Honeycutt's the guy that really does damage any chance you give him. Here's middle, Honeycutt. 2 men on. Guard against the worst case scenario. And I get it, man, because you were right to text back what you did about first and second, 1 out. But college baseball is not pro baseball. And I think you've got certain guys on teams that you've watched destroy. Like, I'm not pitching to Cags. I mean, he's not gonna hit the 3-run homer that he's going to hit if you pitch to him against me. He's gonna walk, And maybe I've created a nightmare scenario for myself. Maybe I've even loaded the bases. But if I pitch to him and it's anywhere between the letters and the knees, he's going to hit it out of the damn park. He's shown it time and again. It's like when people would pitch to Buster Posey. I used to crack up. Why are you pitching to Buster Posey? I don't care how good the guy before or after Buster Posey is. They're not Buster Posey. I'm going to take my chances because if I pitch to Buster Posey, he's going to hit it over the scoreboard. And people would do it time and again. And then ping! And you'd go, well, kind of knew that was coming. Well, I mean, there are superstars in college baseball who stand out in a way more than, say, there are very few guys in the pros that you would take the approach of I'd rather load the bases than to pitch to this guy. Like maybe Shohei Ohtani. Like I probably don't want to pitch to Shohei. I might not pitch to Shohei. I'll take my chances. Although that lineup is so deep, you'd be in trouble. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, it's there are very few guys like that. Bonds, when he was on fire back in the day, you'd be better off walking in a run. Don't pitch to him. He's going to destroy you. But in college baseball, there are 2 or 3 guys, if you're really lucky, if you got a great team, you might have 2 to 3 guys that can really do damage. I'm letting those other guys beat me. Now, maybe Lodis does, because Lodis is having himself a great tournament. In fact, the number 9 hitter went yard yesterday, and the leadoff hitter went yard yesterday. Well, there you go. I mean, you got to be pissed if you're them, but in their minds, they're thinking, well, I can't let Tibbs and Cam beat me. I know they can beat me. I can't let them beat me. I get it. I get it. I take my chances with other people.
Well, the odds are so heavily stacked in college baseball in a way that they're not in the major leagues. In college baseball, it's almost like a field goal percentage in basketball. I think it's better than a coin flip for a James Tibbs or a Caglione or a Honeycutt or Tennessee's leadoff hitter, just hit for the cycle. His name escapes me in the moment because I'm going through a Rolodex. It's better than a coin flip if you put something in the strike zone that with that bat that he has in his hand and the ball, it's the way it's constructed, which is much more like the Major League Baseball, that bad things are going to happen. You could say it in Major League Baseball with wooden bats and the velocity and the RPMs of Major League pitchers and the defensive quality of a Major League lineup, a Major League, the fielders, that, you know, this guy is the best in the game, but as you know, 60-40 us still in this situation, 60-40 us. In college, it might be 60-40 going the other way. It's a different sport. It's a different game, and you have to manage it differently.
Completely. And that's why I bring this point up, because I've watched it all through the College World Series, all through the regionals. You watch it during the regular season, it's true too. Like if you start dabbling into watching a random game on a Tuesday night of like Tennessee, or you watch like a Texas or an Arkansas or like the SEC, because they're on all the time. You can find those games all the time. And you know you're going to end up facing a lot of SEC teams. So I kind of found myself doing that. And then by virtue of being in the ACC and getting to play these teams, you're going to see the ACC teams. So really, it turned out to be true this year, especially if you watch the SEC and the ACC play baseball, you saw the teams that were going to the College World Series. And I dare say that almost every one of these teams has a dude, a real stud, a guy that when they start to talk about him, it usually begins with first-round draft pick, rumored to go 7th overall to the Mariners. Hey, the Pirates are interested in Tibbs at 9. They did talk. That's a real talking point. That happened earlier this year. They'll go through all of these guys, and they'll talk about the numbers and what they do well and why major league teams are in love with them. And invariably, when you watch the games, the big situations come up. If they're up and they get pitches to hit, you lose. You lose. They put it, because these are college pitchers. Executing is very difficult, especially to elite hitters who keep the bat in the zone for long periods of time and have power to all fields. It's not like the pros where when they go to the bullpen, there's a guy throwing 99. You know, so you're going to take your chances. When I go and grab Chapman out of the bullpen and he throws 102, you could be the aforementioned Willie Mays, and I'm still going to say, well, he's got 102. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and pitch to Willie here. He could hurt me. He's Willie Mays, but I got 102. I've got to take my chances. When you go to the bullpen in college baseball, this is a guy named Keith who was playing at Lincoln last year. And, you know, he throws 93 and straight. Not good.
That's his best pitch. Yeah.
Right. It's not the same
That's where the attitude would be. First base is always open when I face a batter such as this. Because yesterday the situation for Honeycutt was first and second, one out. That's a tough spot. But if you look at that lineup and you want to approach it this way, in this manner, it's first base is always open with that kid. I could always.
It's an intentional walk. That's what you're going to do. You're going to try to get a kid who knows he has to, stretch the zone. Your best hitter does have to try to seek to hit outside the zone because he's not going to get anything in the zone unless it's an absolute mistake that he can then punish. But if I got stakes on the bags there, man, I'm telling my best hitter, look, anything close, I'd rather you take a rip than take this walk and pass it on to the next guy. For a lot of these lineups, that's that way. Now, Florida State's unique because when they pass it on to Ferrer, you're talking about a guy with real power who's doing real damage. So that's why Florida State is arguably the best offensive team in Omaha remaining.
Yeah, agreed. That's where, it's so often Tibbs is tossing his bat over to the dugout. It's Dinges and Ferrer and Cantu. Okay, no problem. And then after that, it's Lodi's Farrow. Okay, no problem. And of late, Jackson West. Okay.
Yeah.
Not an automatic out by any stretch of the imagination. In fact,
he's really hit right now.
Since missing the bag and missing the tag, two things that hurt us
dreadful
on Friday, he's been phenomenal at the dish. He worked 3 very impressive walks. You can't call them at bats, but 3 impressive plate appearances down the stretch against Tennessee. And he's been just flat good. He's been flat good at the plate and an additive, not somebody that you hope runs into one. I mean, he's making it happen, which you will need every bit of all of those ingredients over the next 2 days. If it was a one-off, Tibbs could go 0 for 4, no problem. You could still win that game. But if you're trying to win 2 in a row, back-to-back days, at some point, you're going to need him and you're going to need Cam to lead the way.
I'm glad Tibbs yesterday, upon getting a ball in the zone, he punished it. That line drive in the alley for a double, that ball was hit hard. He was on top of that baseball. Exit velocity was very good. He saw it. He had no problem with that. You can get frustrated pretty easily when it's not going well, but that was a really good AB, and he got the pitch to hit, and he did real damage with it. So, I don't worry about him. But you are going to need him to hit, and you're going to need Cam to hit. And Cam's had some situations now where he's had greater opportunities. They have pitched to him, and he's having a hard time barreling it right now. He's fouled back a couple pitches that I thought he had a chance to hit to the moon, and he's just missing just by a little bit. Baseball's hard. Our friends at Tried and True are prepared to help you start saving and making money. That's a good thing. As business owners, you get to choose between one of 3 offers currently. This will go on now through July 31st. So heads up on this. You want to make money, you want to save money, you want to do both. $1,000 off a point of sale system, no gateway charges for 1 year, or a free video menu or ad board when you become a Tried and True client. I don't know why you wouldn't really be. I mean, whoever, your point of sale, you don't really care about who's doing that as long as you're doing it for less, making more money. Then you decide, I want to do it with guys that are Knowles. I'm a Knoll. I want Knowles to help Knowles, businesses that are doing business with other Knowles. That's a great thing. These guys take it to the next level because if you do become a Tried and True consulting client, they'll give 10% of their net revenue to the Battles Inn. They're all about it. They're doing the right thing. Call Don or Joe today at 844-463-6653. That's 844-I'm-for-Knoll for all the details. Tell them you want the Jeff Cameron Show special. How special is the Jeff Cameron Show special? Oh, You guys know over the years, it's very special. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Thank you for calling the Mechanics of the
Your call is important to us.
Dadgummit. Looks like we're not taking the RV anywhere this weekend. The repair shop won't even answer the phone.
If this sounds like your RV mechanic, you need a better mechanic. Call Florida Georgia Mobile RV Service to get all the repairs and maintenance you need to keep your RV in shape year-round. Awnings, converters, electrical work, generators, hydraulics, roof leaks, plumbing, leveling, slide-outs, winterizing. We literally do it all, no matter what make or model RV you have. And we can do most repairs same day or within a few days. We can service your RV at home, storage lot, or even at your campground, and accept warranties and service plans. Plus, mention this ad and we'll give you a free roof inspection or AC performance inspection. Call us at 850-210-4244. That's 850-210-4244. Or just fill out the request form online at FloridaGeorgiaMobileRV.com. That's FloridaGeorgiaMobileRV.com.
Sarah here with Seminole Auto Glass. Hey, Greg.
Hey, what's up?
It's turkey season. Have you hit one yet?
A turkey? No.
Good for you, because we've seen more turkey suicides than anything lately.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we had a pretty foul morning.
Oh.
But our customers just went to Seminole Auto Glass and uploaded their insurance card. We got them back on the road with feathers flying in no time. Hey, Greg, which side of a turkey has more feathers? The outside.
Oh.
Better call Seminole.
Seminole Auto Glass. Call 850-539-4527.
Dream it, plan it, do it. Brian Barnard's Flooring America offers a straightforward way to shop with our streamlined shopping. Finding the right flooring is simple. Visit our newly remodeled showroom featuring the Room to Explore shopping experience, where our knowledgeable staff will walk you through the steps. Our family has been serving the area since 1976 with a local staff of more than 35 people trained in flooring sales and design. We know floors, and we know styles. Let us help make your home timeless. Brian Barnard's Flooring America, where friends send friends.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50. For those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Don't know that we're going to start right on time, meaning Florida State in the game against Tennessee. We'll see. That Florida game's still going on. They're still scoring 1,000 runs on Kentucky here.
Yeah, they're in the bottom of the 8th. Florida is the home team today, I do believe. So they're close to finishing. They're close to wrapping up. Florida State, from what I've seen, for what it's worth, also on the NCAA website, will be the road team. Again, this is Tennessee's third game. They've split 1-1, so we're on the road. Quote unquote. I guess if you work into Thursday, that means we would be in the bottom half of the inning. But they need 55 minutes, according to Dave in the chat, between games to be able to facilitate. There are individual tickets for every game, so they got to tell people to get the hell out and then bring them back in. 55 minutes. So you're looking like it might be about, I don't know, 325-ish, 325-ish first pitch.
I'll tell you what you're looking like. You're looking like the time it takes me to get home from the studio. Perfect. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice little drive back to the hizzy. Get in front of it and not miss a single pitch. I'm down with the delayed start. That's fine with me. Wish it was for a different reason. Wish it was because Kentucky was the one delivering this mighty ass beating, and instead it's Florida, who is in the losers bracket. They got to do what Florida State's got to do. So it's fascinating. Where do you stand on this, by the way? You want to play Florida in the finals?
Ooh, haven't thought that far ahead. As much as I'm talking about, let us get to Thursday.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's make the dreams come true. We come out of this bracket. You want Florida?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Do you?
Well, I look at it two ways.
Oh, boy.
This version of Florida, if they are to make it to the finals, is a very different team than the one that was on the wrong end of a whole bunch of mighty ass kickings from Florida State. There'd be no denying that the hovering around 500 Florida team that Florida State emasculated would be a fun team to play. The version that went on the road as a 3 seed in a sub-regional and won it, and then came back and won the Supers to get into the College World Series, and then in turn is now bludgeoning teams that they face, is a very different looking Florida team. I also don't like the idea of a team that barely went 500 getting to the championship game. That pisses me off. Just like, even if we're there or not there, that just would piss me off. That's the ultimate baseball being baseball nonsense. It's like the year the Cardinals win the World Series after winning 83 regular games. They weren't very good. By definition, they were not a very good team. They won the World Series. They can go to hell eternally for that. That drives me nuts. I don't like to see mediocrity rewarded. So that bothers me. So I'm torn. Because would it be awesome to throttle Florida to win our first national title in baseball? Yes, it'd be great. It would be huge. It'd be the ultimate, other than beating Miami. It'd be great. I don't know that my heart can take it.
Well, you're a healthy man. You just had I'm sure, a health checkup. You're in your 50s. You got to do those every year, right?
I unfortunately do have to do them every year. And I am healthy, yes.
Okay, so you were medically cleared for a College World Series best of 3 against Florida. You were medically cleared.
I don't know how I feel in the game against Tennessee. I know how I feel watching yesterday's game. I mean, damn it.
Okay, so if we did get to that point and there are watch-alongs, my God, it would just be a bunch of warnings, and then your face would be like, from your house, it would be just a little portion of the screen, but there'd be warnings all over the place. Rivalry game, adult language, please don't take this seriously. Come on, seriously, grow up. People understand the magnitude of this moment. There'd be warnings all over the screen for that series.
I don't know that you could warn the people any more than we warned them last time when we were having a watch along. I mean, you're asking, that's what a watch along's for, is to have the real emotions on display. The way it would be if we were in my house watching a game together or your house watching a game together. We don't do it so that you can then tell the folks, hey, you're going to get a muted version of Jeff.
Yeah.
You're not going to get the guy that's watching the game as he would ordinarily watch the game. That's why my wife was scared to death the other night when we turned off the computer. She's like, Jesus, you're going to get fired. No, I'm not going to get fired. Everybody there was told, this is what it is. This is what you get.
Well, there are a lot of people who stumble onto our channel for the first time in a situation like that. And so I want them to be as apprised of what they're walking into as it's almost like righting the wrong for that family who was sitting at corner pocket for Boston College in 2013. I want that family who is sitting at the electronic high top in their living room, and that's what they're doing. And they're deciding, oh, look at this. I can get some Knowles reaction. This might not be for you. This might not be for you. This is a bar and grill.
Not a grill and bar, sir. This is a bar and grill. You understand?
Not a grill and bar at all. This is bar and grill energy. And so if you're not, this is tavern energy. So be careful.
If you're amongst the fellas watching a game at a bar, I mean, you know what you're getting. You know what you're getting. The world has to know what they're getting. If that's not your cup of tea, fine. If you find that vile, well, then don't watch it. Don't watch it. It's so simple. I remember there was a guy, he would email me all the time about language, and he would get so mad. And I was like, look, man, nobody's making you tune in to the Jeff Cameron Show every day. You don't have to do it. If it upsets you enough that you went home, sat down, and composed an email repeatedly to send to me on a daily basis because it upsets you, why would you put yourself through that? I'm not going to get fired. My ratings are huge. Nothing you say is going to cause me to get fired, sir. Suck it. I mean, what there's nothing to stop tuning in.
Some find it vile. That would be that's like the second part of the Surgeon General's warning. Some viewers might find this program vile. Be warned. Be warned. It causes complications in the living room if you have children. Also,
yeah, I get that, there are limits, and I've been very careful about that over the years. I mean, the worst things you're going to hear are some salty language. That's all. You're going to hear some salty language.
Especially if you're an umpire.
Yeah. Well, I did call him a name, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah, you commented on his physique. Yeah, you did. Sure did.
Well, I think physically he was at a disadvantage to be able to see that pitch. He hasn't taken proper care of himself. And, because he didn't take care of himself, he couldn't see past the layers of fat on that outside fastball and consistently missed it. Got to do a better job. Got to put yourself in a position to make the correct call. I can't help you if you're not going to do that. It's going to be called out in a very terse way. I don't have a proper segue. I had a story I was going to tell you that makes me laugh, and I'll do it before the end of the show. It's about Satchel Paige and Willie Mays, and it makes me laugh.
I would say I agree with Mario here, who says, I've been very careful, quote unquote. That's exactly how I felt. I was like, I don't know. I've been very careful for you, but I don't know that you've been very careful.
Well, now, Tom, do we need to get into who has had to have the 7-second delay utilized and who has not?
We can do that.
Because I would say, and one can argue, that is the definition of somebody, one person, being very careful and the other not.
I'm talking about more than just FCC 7-second delays. I'm talking about maybe getting into the comments section and commenting on the commenters and the umpires and so forth. That's where I'm protecting you. I'm like, well, hey,
it's all fair game.
He sees Florida man in Kentucky and FLKY 123. He's like, nope. I see him he's getting chippy with him. Let's close out the comments section before we get ourselves in a real fight here.
Well, here you go, live spectator. You're waiting for me to join the fat shaming parade for Luka. Yeah. All you got to do is watch that dude try to play defense, and you realize, my man, for as prodigious an offensive talent as you are, two ends of the floor, and that size does not allow you to move your feet, fatty. Let's get it together. Now, it does age you when you stick your shoulder into people's chest and they go flying across the baseline time and again because you're a monster. So it's worked well for you offensively, but defensively, the blow-by is real for Fatty Fat. He's going to have to figure that out. There's probably a happy medium there. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
After months of debate, a ruling is nearly here for a lawsuit Florida State University filed against the Atlantic Coast Conference. The crux of the lawsuit focuses on FSU's current contract tying it to the ACC for over a decade. Under the agreement, it would cost the university more than $500 million in exit fees to leave the ACC. They entered their third hearing in the case early Tuesday. Part of the discourse focuses on whether the ACC is a business in Florida, but that part of the debate has come to a close after the judge decided in the first part of his ruling Monday that the ACC is a significant business in Florida. The decision could have implications for how the ACC values its media rights and its licensing to ESPN. Representatives for the ACC have raised multiple reasons for why they believe the judge should dismiss FSU's case. Judge Cooper denied 3 of those requests and asked attorneys to submit the rest of their motions to dismiss in writing. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 93. Easterly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. 73 tonight, mainly clear skies. Slight chance for storms tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 92. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 85.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future. There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's a Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds.
There's like, families. There's different families. And,
so if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch.
Or the Yeti, right?
Yep,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape. And,
I've never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Hey, everybody, we had a Kiss My Ass on Main Street moment. Haven't had one of these in a while, Tom, so I didn't want this one to pass without us correctly acknowledging an all-time Kiss My Ass on Main Street moment. The Detroit Pistons fired Monty Williams after 1 season. And I tell you that the greatest gig and the greatest gift ever is professional and collegiate sports that pay well and are impatient. I remember thinking, unfortunately, we provided a Kiss My Ass on Main Street moment for Willie Taggart when we fired him. That's freedom to do whatever you want to do the rest of your life while others pay an exorbitant sum for you to do so. And how about this one? Do you know how much money remains on Monty Williams' contract after 1 miserable year in Detroit? Do you know, Tom?
I saw the report today, but you can tell the people.
$65 million to go away. Damn it, man. I would be repeatedly arrested for not wearing pants in public. $65 million. Good God. What a gig. He was signed to Detroit with a historic 6-year, $78 million contract. Son of a. Now, the Pistons are pathetic. They are 94-290. 94-290 over the last 5 seasons. We've all rooted for teams. I'm a Bucks fan and a Pirates fan. We've all rooted for teams that have struggled, had some tough runs. We often have reflected on said tough runs. We'll go back and look at them and say, how in a salary cap league where by definition, every team should be average, is built to be average. They all have the same amount of money to spend. How could you be lopsidedly horrible to the tune of, and then you would name the record, right? You'd say, how in a league that's built to go 500 are we, 2-14 for 3 years in a row? We got the number one effing pick every year. You can't tell me we can't find one difference maker over a 3-year stretch in a draft of 7 effing rounds and we go first every year? That's impossible. And you get mad. You rightfully get mad. You get really mad. But then there's the Pistons. Good God, man. 94 and 290. That's a winning percentage of 245. That's a 245 winning percentage over 5 years. 24% of the time you win a game that you watch in 5 years? Sweet Jesus. I can't say that I don't know how one does it because I've been a glutton for punishment before. I mean, there have been stretches of Pirate baseball where you're like, holy moly. But even in those years, the Pirates are winning, 45, 47% of the time I turn them on. It's not 24%. That is that is losing. That is losing. My God.
Yeah, I've been there before. I know you have. The Lightning, when I was a child, were basically rostered by children. And there was a 3-year stretch. I looked it up. They didn't win 20 games for 3 straight years. And that's really hard to do in hockey. They won 17 out of 82 games in 97, 98. 19 out of 82 games in 98, 99, and 19 again. The following year in 2000, 2001, they saw real improvement as they won 24 out of 82 games. So I've been there. It's been a long time for that franchise since they've been in those kinds of doldrums, but I remember how that felt, and it was a helpless feeling. It was borderline apathy. You almost had to be under the age of 25 to not feel apathy. I think post 25, you would feel absolute apathy in a situation like that.
I would be so happy when I walk through that door, knowing that there's a chance they're going to let me go today after 1 year on a 7-year deal. And look, they had a 28-game regular season losing streak. That's absurd. They went 14 and 68. Who in the world goes 14 and 68? So anyhow, I'm coming in there to get a talking to about our 14 and 68 campaign. I'd start laughing as soon as they go, Jeff, we want to talk to you about the 14 and 68. That's a toughie, fellas. I'm looking around this room. Michael Jordan, no, Isaiah Thomas isn't walking through that door. Joe Dumars isn't walking through that door. Hell, I don't even have a John Sally, and he wasn't good. I got nothing. I got nothing over here.
He was better on television. I think the proper response is the one from Ed Orgeron. When he
was so pumped, yeah.
Tell me where to sign and what door do you want me to leave out of?
Yeah.
So that's the response.
You want to fire me? I'll out the door. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a 4.5 out of 5, Ed O. That was very good.
I can do Ed O. Grizzled, and that's the old morning show days, Tom. That's Ed O deep into his life. But I mean, buddy, that could you imagine? What a great day. What a great day to walk in and they're like, no, Jeff, we're not giving you year 2. This is reprehensible. We can't do it. Now, believe me, we searched your personal life over. We were looking for anything that gave us a for-cause clause enactment. We definitely were trying. I've had an FBI tail you, the equivalent of an FBI agent tailing you every night. The worst I could find was you occasionally blew off some steam with a couple of beers at the bar while you watched other teams much better than ours play basketball. And I can't fire you for that. In fact, I admire it. I understand. It's been tough.
Sounds like a lunch we might have had some years ago. If you guys understood how long we've been trying to fire this guy. I mean, he was a great employee. He was a fantastic employee.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that's funny. But knowing that I would be able to walk through the doors of my home, my soon-to-be ex-home, I bought a much bigger abode, and tell my wife, hey, babe, where do you want to live? No, check that. How many different places do you want to live in throughout the course of the year?
Yep.
Where do you want the seasons to be for us?
I think this would be something that I would offer up, like a reverse lottery proposition, where I'd say, hey, if you want a lump sum it, we can talk. Let's just see what the numbers are. I'm fine with a structured settlement, so to speak, because I'm going to get it over the next 5 years. But if you just want to drop, I don't know, 57 mil in my bank account right now, save yourself 8. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to listen.
That's a great conversation for an agent and a client to have, right? Hey, Tom, it's your agent. Oh, hey, listen, we could demand they pay you the full $68 million, but it's going to be over the next, 8 years. And you're going to have to deal with them and, all that kind of nonsense. I think they're willing to just stroke a check for 55 mil, one lump sum, if you're willing to do it. You could take the night to talk about it with your financial folks if you want and get back to me. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, not necessary. I'm sure you're on board with this as you collect 10% yourself immediately when it deposits. So, let's go with it.
It's got to be the best. Earlier in the show, I said that I thought Abraham would start today. It seemed like it was moving in that direction. That was in the first hour. I've gotten further texts, so have others. Clearly, I see it in the chat too. People are saying that it is Abraham. It to me, this sounds strange to say. I feel like that's kind of irrelevant. I'm not as concerned with who starts the game. I want to know who's available for the game. Abraham was always going to be part of the equation in some capacity. He was going to have to pitch today. He's an arm that has some experience, and he's had moderate success. So, that doesn't strike me as all that important that he starts. We're going to have to score a bunch of runs regardless. So even if he gives up a few in the first, like you might counter and say, well, yeah, but Jeff, if he gets lit up early on and puts us in a hole, do we start pressing? I think this team takes the field today knowing that they're going to have to score. At least the mindset should be that they're going to have to score 10 to 15 runs to win. Maybe they won't. Maybe Abraham does what Armstrong did yesterday and surprises us. And next thing you know, you look up and it's 4 1/3 and he's dealing. Great. I'm all for it. But I wouldn't go into this game thinking that, not as a fan or as a player. I'd think, okay, Abraham's average. He's going against an elite offense. Those are aluminum bats they're holding. We're okay in the outfield, but not elite. We need to score 10. That would be my mindset.
If it's going to be, if fewer than 7 are necessary, then I think every infielder is going to have 2 welts on their chest of 120-mile-an-hour exit velocity baseballs. That's the only way. Stay in front of it. Keep it in front of you. I think I'm dying. Complete the play.
Gotta make that play. Yeah. You can put a little salve on there later on tonight. We got to make this play.
So again, I just wondered, like you do, who's available. Is Jamie Arnold available today for a bullpen, for a side session? How many days, if he's to wait a week between starts? And in this case, you would be holding him back for over a week. You would give him more than a week between starts. It would be a Friday and perhaps to Saturday, game 1 of the final series or game 2. This is what you're managing towards with Jamie. You pick a day between those two. His side session is however many pitches. Could he have his side session on the mound today against Tennessee?
The difference being, of course, the intensity level of a side session and a start against or an outing against Tennessee is very different. mentally and physically. The level of tax taken from an outing against that lineup with what's on the line is a lot different than any bullpen session he was going to have. So you wonder.
Well,
I don't know the answer to this, by the way. I get what you're saying, and I've gone through the machinations and all the varieties of ways in which you can use certain guys on limited rest, who has bullpen, who doesn't, this today and tomorrow. But the one thing we don't know, we have no idea the way they view, like Micah would tell us if we had him on right now, but Micah Posey, the pitching coach, has a much better handle on who's got the more rubber arm of the group and who doesn't. Some guys are a function of very strict day-to-day management. You can't throw him on a Tuesday if it's a single day earlier than it would be normally for him to pitch. Others, you roll him out there back-to-back-to-back games, and you're like, yeah, he's got it. He can do it. Now, long-term for his future, that's not what's good for him, but he can do it and be effective. There's a different conversation there.
Well, and he might want to and say, everybody pipe down. It's my choice. This is what I want to do. I was surprised to see Whitaker yesterday. I thought that was early. I thought if we were going to see him, it would be today. I can't imagine he's available today after, I know it was merely 20 pitches.
Whitaker?
Yeah, Whitaker. Yeah,
he looked awful. He had nothing. He had nothing yesterday.
And this was first guessing. I thought, wow, that's awfully soon. Like in the game, I thought in the inning that he was chosen to come in, and I get the spot. I get he was pitching to, but I thought that was early, and I thought also it was a day early. Now, again, he cannot be available today, I don't think. But for Arnold's sake, you can't lose this. If you make it to the best of three, you can't lose it on Saturday. You're not going home on Saturday with a loss. I think you tab him for a Sunday start. And then maybe I saw it suggested earlier in the chat. If you're up late, maybe he can close it for you and give you 15, 20 pitches in that scenario in a ninth inning where you need a shutdown inning at that point. But you're right. These things are answered in about 10 seconds behind closed doors about what is feasible and what a kid wants to do.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know the way that their arms work and how some guys are able to bounce back quicker than others, and guys have it in them. The real question isn't, I will say this time of year, it's all hands on deck all the time because this is it. You're playing for the whole enchilada. You're trying to win the damn World Series. So a lot of the traditional setups are thrown out the window, and that includes proper rest and bullpen sessions and everything else. I'm trying to win a game. But what the question you're answering time and again about these arms, because nothing's normal about right now, and everybody's a little bruised and banged up at this juncture of the season. You're asking, can he be effective? Not if he can pitch, because everybody can pitch right now. You can pitch. Like if you had to throw Armstrong an inning today, he just pitched yesterday. I mean, he could do it. The question is, can he be effective? Can he locate? Does he have the kind of ability where when he's tired to still ratchet it up physically and mentally and execute pitches where we want him to execute the pitch? Because all these guys are capable of going out and, throwing the ball over the plate. Just what kind of stuff do they have when they go out there when everything's been altered, when they're not in their normal routine? I think a part of the success that this program has really enjoyed this year was the organizational efforts from Link and his staff to really create for players very specific roles and what they're thought to be, or what they're thought of as, like, hey, you got to be this guy for me, and that's offense and defense. That's pitching and defense. That's all of it, right? You're going to be this in this lineup. This is what I need you to be. And these guys have all bought into that and understand their roles and love it. But we're kind of at a nebulous place now. There's 4 teams that remain in the College World Series, and you're trying to win a championship, and like, sorry, Larry, you're going to have to do something outside that role I asked you to be in for the course of this year, because this is it. It's all hands on deck. This is it. It's win or go home.
Well, they know it. And the other thing is, if you are to progress to the weekend, I'm not saying because you pitched well against North Carolina, you would do it again this weekend, but you've got a couple more arms that you would turn to that jump to the top of the list because they have proven themselves in that pressure cooker of a situation that they can come up in those moments and go get outs. So we'll see who's available today. But the good news for you is as you traverse home, you can take your time. If you need to stop and maybe get some wings to go, provided that they're prepared in a relatively quick fashion.
Man, how about that? See, that's the other reason things got a little spicy early in the watch along.
3:45 first pitch. 3:45 first pitch.
I was furious when I walked through that door at the time. Really made me angry that I was like, I texted you 45 minutes before we were supposed to go live.
You did, and we started the watch along with you on the speakerphone, which apparently came in loud and clear.
By the way, I'm going to point something out. The Pirates won the series today against the Reds. It's not often you win a series in which you score a grand total of 2 runs in the last 18 innings played of said series, but win it, and they did. We won 1-0 today on a 2-hitter. And Mitch Keller, not just screwing Mitch Keller, continues to be a beast. This is getting kind of fun. Robert Nutting, you bum, go get a bat. Anybody, get a bat to lengthen this line. We can't hit. Go get somebody. They can pitch their ass off. Anyhow, 1-0 from not just screwing Mitch Keller today.
And don't be shopping over here. We're red hot. Won 7 straight. The Grimace Mets have not lost since Grimace first pitch.
You said earlier in the year you wanted them to trade Alonso.
Yeah, if they're out of it.
Yeah, well, it's time. The Pirates could use Alonso. He'd love it in Pittsburgh.
No, who you want is JD Martinez. That's who you want. The dude has been everything that he has been in his career, which
his whole career, yeah.
Unbelievably consistent, uses right field, which makes him basically unbeatable when he's locked in because he's not afraid to wait on it and drive it to right field.
What drives me nuts is they could have had him. Like, this is the thing. It's not that costly to go out and get JD Martinez.
He was worth $50. It's the same thing that the Phillies did with Schwarber 2 or 3 years ago. He was on the cheap.
I'd rather watch JD Martinez play. I mean, Schwarber, I know, has these moments where he just carries the team for 2 and 3 weeks at a time. He also has moments where he doesn't get a hit for 2 and 3 weeks at a time. So it's just like, okay, I don't know. All right, Tom, go Noles, buddy. I'll talk to you later. Appreciate you.
Don't let us play tomorrow.
Oh, let's hope so. Let's hope we're talking about it. Thanks to all of you guys for listening to the program, for watching the program, for participating in the program. We appreciate it. Be good. Go Noles. Deep breaths. Peace.